Alright, so I'm gonna be trying a little something different here. What I'm doing is I'm gonna take this game that I played a couple weeks ago. I'm not actually sure when, but yeah, I'm just gonna analyze my laning phase and the way this game turned out. So basically, my laning phase usually starts off pretty strong. Usually push for that level 2. I'm using a 16% attack speed page on Vayne here. And I guess this game was more recent than I thought. But regardless, as you can see here, I'm taking a little bit of damage in these trades, but I'm just kind of trying to push up. As Vayne, you pretty much just want to get those items and levels as quickly as you can, and usually that's farming. So if you get into like too many skirmishes early without winning the trades, then you get into trouble real fast with Vayne. As you can see here, we had a pretty close fight. I knew my damage, so it wasn't really a question if I could kill the Graves when he stepped up like that. Anytime the AD carry steps out of position that far, you have a little bit more window to kill him. As you can see, Thresh exhausted him just at the right time, so he effectively was standing on top of the bush, but then as soon as he got exhausted, he just couldn't go anywhere. He barely even made it a quarter of the way to his tower at that point. So right now we're just shoving up the lane. I get a nice wall stun on the Morgana there. He wasn't paying attention with his black shield, or he just chose not to use it, one of the two. So as you can see, Graves is back in lane now, and I'm going to buy probably Vamp Scepter and a few potions here, I think. So that's most likely going to be the purchase here. Let's see. Yeah, I decided to go with 2 potions. Normally, if I'm against a lane that I feel can continually push me out of lane, I'll get a couple extra potions, as many as 4 or 5, but usually just 2 or 3. And if you're ever like backing with like 830 gold or like 800 gold or something like that, you can wait for the extra potion. Just get one more, and it'll help your laning phase quite a bit. But you have to time your backs really well. So what happened after I pushed the wave out? Graves felt like he had to go reset the lane, right? So if he doesn't go back and buy at this point, he's behind in items. So he's gonna go back and buy, and this actually gives me the opportunity to freeze a little bit. And so not only do I have 1 kill, I have decent amount of CS for this point in the game, and I have lane control. More importantly, I have lane control because now Graves has to come all the way to our side of the lane just to CS. That gives my jungler opportunities to gank them, and as you can see here, he's rushing back into lane, just trying to get in range for the CS, while his support's warding, so he's not able to skirmish with the Nocturne and the Thresh. Like, if I'm just CSing and Graves goes over there immediately, maybe they can pick up a quick kill, but because I had the wave controlled, that changes his behavior. So now he's going over here and he's fighting Thresh. I think Thresh went over there to ward and kind of got over aggressive with Morgana, but regardless, he gets out, pops a potion, and I'm still controlling the wave right here. I want to push out just as much as he's pushing in, so that the result is that the wave is always even. And it doesn't matter if I'm ahead like 1 or 2 or he's ahead 1 or 2. The main thing is that he wants to reset the lane. So he's gonna try and push, but you just push just as fast as him, just match him, and you will get those opportunities for ganks, as you can see here. Now his summoners are down, so all it really takes for me here is to get that nice wall stun off. And even through the exhaust, Vayne's true damage is enough to pick up the kill. So a good gank by Nocturne. He chose the correct angle to come in at. As you can see, he didn't reveal himself through the fog of war. He walked all the way around the bush and then through it. So that's how you do a gank. And Thresh got a really, really nice pull there. I don't really think I really had to dive this, but I knew that I was going to get a kill. I could have gotten out maybe, but the main thing is to get the kill and then I reset my gold on the support. So the support got a killing spree gold from me, right? Their AD carry didn't have any part of that. He didn't get any assists. He's now losing CS to the tower, and he's got no one in lane to help him. So once again, the lane is about to reset once I get back, unless he's able to freeze that, which is totally possible. But I don't really think that's the case here. Oh, I do remember this game actually because it's funny. The Annie is accusing him of using a script on Xerath, which is actually more common than you would think. And there's like a couple of giveaways for if someone's using a script. I'm just kind of taking Krugs here because I can. As you can see, I got Bilge Water and 2 daggers, so very, very minimal cost and health for me to do that. And if I could have kited that a little bit better, maybe I would have done even better. But yeah, back to the Xerath queues. It's hard to explain, but you would know if you're against a scripter, because I mean, like, if he's just good, maybe like he's hitting some nice skill shots, but the skill shots come out too quick. Like, there's no way that somebody can aim that accurately across the screen, right? So for instance, if Xerath were ulting the bush right in front of me, and then all of a sudden his ult went way over to the bush, to the tri-bush, then you would be like, oh, well, that guy's scripting. Or if it wasn't that accurate, then you would know he's not scripting. So it's really obvious, actually. So yeah, once again, the wave reset. It looks like we were going to be able to freeze for a while longer. Lee Sin comes in for the gank, gets a little bit overzealous, and Thresh pulls him into the tower. It's an easy kill for me. And I actually happen to get a triple kill here, but that's just a result of Lee Sin making a bad play. That's not even really their bot lane's fault. So I'm pretty much snowballed beyond belief at this point. This may not be like the best game to review as far as quality of gameplay. Like, maybe I'm not playing that great, and you shouldn't necessarily only look to go over your good replays. You should actually be going over your bad replays so you can figure out what you did wrong, right? So it's actually a lot easier for me to forget things that I've done well, and it's important to remember when you make mistakes, because it's easy to get complacent and think that you never make any mistakes, but you obviously do. So just kind of try and keep that attitude. I decided to push up the wave there instead of helping them do dragon, because I knew Lee Sin and the other two were dead, so there's very little chance that they were going to get there in time. Morgana catches me here with Dark Binding and Tremendous Soil combo, so I actually decided to stay in lane. I got a pretty good amount of gold. I have enough for Blade of the Ruined King and Berserker's Greaves straight out, so that's basically my next buy point that I'm looking for. If there wasn't a ward in that bush, I would have got hit by that snare 100%. So yeah, this is going to be a fairly long video, guys. If you do have any ideas how I can improve the format, please let me know in the comments. There is just not a lot that I can do to show you the things that I want to show you without editing a lot. So in order to keep my editing times down, the videos will be a little bit longer, and if you don't want to hear me talk, then just don't watch the videos. That's simple. So yeah, you can maybe skip through parts of this and just go for the important bits. This is going to be like my first attempt at this, so there'll be more videos like this to come, but I just kind of wanted to give, you know, a baseline, and like this is something I happen to have footage of, and there's plenty of games that I don't record the footage of, which I really should, but yeah, this is just me continuing to be snowballed. As you can see, I've got all the kills on my team, which is really good. That's where you want to be if you're an AD carry. I got a little bit what you want to call it? I don't want to say overzealous, because I wasn't really doing anything too risky there, but after I got the Morgana outplay, maybe I should have ran up and recalled in that bush instead, or tried to run back through the tower when the creeps came up. but it wasn't necessarily that obvious that Lee Sin was going to be there. So as a result of me not being able to back before, I ended up having enough for a Zeal too when I did eventually back. So instead of just coming back with Bork and Boots, I now have Bork, Boots, and Zeal, and I did get those other 2 kills. So you might want to ask yourself, is it really worth it to stop someone's back if you're a couple levels behind? You may want to take that opportunity if you're the Morgana to push into the tower. As you can see, my tower is full health. They could have gotten half the tower instead of stopping my back. So it really comes down to your wave control and your macro decisions. It's not so much your micro decisions, because like his decision to snare me and the Tormented Soil, that was fine, but you have to understand that that's a micro decision, and that's not something that is going to affect the overall game as much. So micro is an extension of your macro. So as you can see here, we went a little aggressive at the behest of Thresh. I wasn't really feeling it, but anytime I can get a kill as Vayne, that's going to be good most of the time, unless you like trade away a couple enemy kills. But as you can see, they're catching up now. It's 9-8. I got the only kills of my team, so I'm thinking, are the rest of my teammates going to continue to die like this? Because if they don't, we're pretty much guaranteed to win. Anytime you have that much gold funneled onto the AD carry, you just snowball out of control. I've got, pretty close to perfect CS, considering that I've got 9 kills and, I'm only, 30 CS behind the benchmark, and I've been out of lane for like 5 minutes. So yeah, it's all subjective when you think about CS numbers. Like, this isn't perfect CS, but considering what all has been going on, it is. So let's say maybe if the score is 0-0 on the scoreboard, and I'm obviously I'm also 0-0, so is their AD carry. So like, if it were 14 minutes, we'd both be expected to be like around 120 to 140 CS. So 140 would be more like perfect, even though technically it's not. There's 107 CS by 10 minutes 30 seconds into the game that you could get. That would be absolutely perfect for bot lane. But after that, there's more than 100 CS per 10 minutes. So when they say it's 100 per 10, it's not actually that. It's less than that for the first 10 technically, because there's only 107. But after that, there's about like 130 per 10 minutes, or it might even be more than that. I'm not sure exactly. So yeah, we got ganked by Lee Sin again. Some fancy micro here. I just wanted to get damage down onto Lee Sin mostly. So Thresh played this really beautifully actually, and picks up only 1 kill. It really seems like he should have got the Morgana kill as well. But me being on such low health, and I didn't have my heal cooldown early enough in that engagement to make it useful. So here I'm just gonna not die to Graves, give up the tower, and whatever CS dies to the tower is just whatever. So I'm pretty close to PD here. As you can see, I'm only like 300 gold away, which is annoying. But if you don't like waiting for Phantom Dancer, what you can do is go with Static Shiv. But you just gotta understand that the power spikes, the play style, it's all different. And sometimes I build Static Shiv and Phantom Dancer, but that's not very often anymore. I used to do it a lot when I was running an 11 AD page with 12% attack speed, but since I switched to the 16% page and I don't max Q anymore, I haven't been building it as much, and I've been trying to rush the Infinity's Edge, because the upside on having Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer on this patch is much greater than having two Zeal items and essentially no bonus AD, since you'd have Bork, Static Shiv, PD, and Boots. So it's pretty much for when you're snowballed, or for super late game, maybe you want the extra Phantom Dancer, or maybe you don't like Zephyr and you don't want your Boots anymore. So as you can see here, Dong Ding Dong, or whatever his name is, Shyvana TP'd into our team, and It seemed like he might have wanted to cancel that, but he didn't for whatever reason. And he just kind of stood there and died. I used my ultimate just to burn him down. So like you never want to be stingy with your ultimate as an AD carry because it's meant to enhance your play, not be something to play around. Like if you're a mid laner, you want to play around your ultimate, right? But if you're an AD carry, it's just extra damage basically. So think about it like that. Don't think about, oh, it's such a long cooldown. Maybe if you're an AoE based champion like Graves and your entire team is a wombo combo, right? Like they have Morgana, Annie, and whoever else, right? Shyvana, that's all AoE. So you kind of care about your ult a little bit more if you're Graves. But then again, like if this were an even game, I would care about my ult a lot more because I can't assassinate anyone or 1v1 or 2v2 without it. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure to burn down the Shyvana so we would win that team fight cleanly. If we all of a sudden put a bunch of focus on him like that and he doesn't die, it just ends up being really bad. So you can see in the chat here, Nocturne says, I hope Vayne can carry this because mid is meh. So if I remember correctly, the way I was feeling right now, it was kind of, I was feeling pretty down. I mean, like, I'm doing my best to carry this, and it just seems like my team wants to die over and over. So trying not to be too negative here. I'm just trying to continue to carry. Lee Sin ganks once again. I outplay enough to get the Morgana kill, but as you can see, we're just trading kills up. Xerath coming in, Nocturne coming in. I believe Nocturne gets that kill. Yes, he does. So I picked up an assist and a kill. Normally that wouldn't be like the best, but if you look at my score, I'm 11-4. Anytime you can get that many kills on the AD, it might be worth it. So, especially on Vayne, like depending on the matchup for the team comps and the individual lane matchups, it can be detrimental or it can win you the game to trade kills like this on Vayne. So in this case, their AD carry is not getting most of the kills, so it's fine that we're trading all these kills away. But if he were matching me kill for kill, let's say he's got 8 kills or something like that, then that's not good because then that puts him in a situation where he can carry easier and he can actually turn the fights. So as you'll see here in these mid-game to late-game team fights, the most important thing is going to be your auto attack damage if you're an AD carry player. So watch for your Graves auto attacks, who he's focusing. Watch for me. Watch who I'm focusing. The positioning is the most important part. So wanted to comment here quickly on the CS. The way that I'm CSing once I've got crit is a little bit differently than just laning. I actually use attack move most of the time just to push the lane quicker. And I'm going for the assassinate here on Graves. I got such a huge item advantage on him, he doesn't even attempt to duel me. So that's a really free kill. And I got that by having mobility advantage with Phantom Dancer, Vayne's passive, and Berserker Greaves. And I abused the fact that they didn't have a ward in Tribush. I just kind of guessed that they didn't have it since I didn't see Morgana around. And kind of knew he was alone. So anytime you have ultimate and Blade of the Ruin King against fairly immobile enemy, you can take advantage of them. So, and he flash W's and Tibbers me, so he didn't have any his stun up at all in that time frame. If he had had his stun up, I would have been dead 100%. But because he didn't know his stun wasn't going to be up for that, or maybe he assumed that it would be up, or maybe he just assumed he had enough damage, I'm not sure. Whatever the reason, he didn't stun me, so I get away. So I come back with QSS now. And these are free kills since I've got so many items. Like, you cannot stand in my DPS. It's just too much. I've got too much stick. I've got too much self-peel with Blade of the Ruin King and QSS now. And, yeah, there's just no way to deal with that much damage. So pick up the Lee Sin kill. Chased the Annie kill a little bit, but Nocturne. That's his bad. He was out of position. I would have got the kill without him. I got Blade of the Rune King and QSS. Xerath continuing to play suboptimally. Shyvana now being a little bit of a split push threat. So you got Thresh and Jax going up there. Looks like they are going to pick up this kill. Ding Dong Ding once again gets a little overzealous. And yeah, a nice flash hook by Thresh. So they do pick up the kill on the Jax, which is more important than getting it to Thresh, obviously. But I mean, that's good for me. So I'm feeling good right now. My team's scaling up. I've got 15 of the 19 kills on my team. They've only got 17 kills total. So I've almost got as many kills as their entire team. Now, let's consider I've got 175 CS. Perfect-ish CS would be like 230 at this point. So I'm about, 50 CS behind the benchmark, but I've got 15 kills. So anytime you weigh in the gold, like one kill would be equivalent to like maybe 20 to 30 CS, something like that. Maybe it's closer to 20 probably, actually. But yeah. So Lee Sin gets the dragon. The Annie is actually a huge threat to me at this point, and I do end up dying in combination with the Graves ultimate. So this isn't just me stomping a game. This actually turned out to be a good replay to go through. So the rest of this fight came out. My team's actually starting to do work now. Presumably me carrying them through the early game allowed them to carry me through mid game. So we'll see kind of how this turns out. I'm going for Infinity Edge next here. As you can see, I picked up the pickaxe earlier, so that puts me about 700 gold off of Infinity's Edge completion. I do see my team's pushing up mid though, so I just want to be in range to assist them if they need help getting out. I thought they were going to pick up that tower, but it looks like it survived with one hit. Yeah, 3 HP, says the Xerath. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering, I have chat restriction on because I'm actually toxic sometimes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna like pretend that I'm not. I think that people need to grow up a little bit in games, and sometimes everyone flies off the handle. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna like act like I'm not toxic sometimes, because I totally am, and I totally enjoy it. I'm only a dick to people that are a dick first. So I mean, that's like some poor justification for being an asshole as well, but I mean, everyone has their breaking points, I suppose. So right now, I'm just kind of reacting to the fact that Graves pushed bottom. This isn't me being greedy for farm. Like right now, I'd actually like to group with the items that I've got. I'm really close to full build. I'll undoubtedly have Infinity Edge next time I choose to back. So as you can see on the mini map here, like that's what I'm watching the whole time. I'm not even looking at the CS, I'm just looking at the mini map, and I can see that they're all grouping around mid. So I know that I need to back, and I don't actually have enough for Infinity Edge now since all the pressure they're putting, but it's important for me to get into position to at least get some kills, push them back, whatever, what have you. So we are entering into this fight here. I hit the minion actually because sometimes when you use attack move or when you just right click and you right click and all hyphy, there's a minion that ends up in a spot where he wasn't a second ago. So that's technically a mistake in my micro. Let's analyze the decision though. The macro decision to go top was correct. There was a small mistake in my micro, and it didn't end up costing us anything. So other than an extra second. So I don't actually think it's a mistake to hit minions in the middle of duels. Some people will say that, oh my god, he's so bad, he should have hit the Graves, or he should have hit their AP carry, whatever. But what those people don't realize is that you're life stealing off those creeps. You'll see Double Lift do this a lot. He'll go life steal for a bit and then he'll go back into the fight. So that's actually something that people need to realize is very useful for AD carries, and they don't need to necessarily judge them, because how do you know what he's microing? Like, maybe he wanted to hit the creeps because his positioning was compromised, right? So if you walk up to the enemy AP and you walk within his bubble, there's a good chance you're going to get popped. So yeah, basically thought process here on the items. I did finish the Infinity Edge. I had enough for pickaxe as well, but I decided to go with the Vamp Scepter because I wanted to go BT. BT Blade of the Rune King is one of my favorite builds for Vayne. Yeah, I could tell that I would need the extra lifesteal in this game specifically. I got enough magic resist with QSS. As you can see there, Annie did stun me, but I QSS'd him and was able to get my combo off. It actually looked like that binding maybe should have hit me. So yeah, we pick up 2 kills here. Nocturne a little bit out of position, but he's so tanky it doesn't really matter. Shyvana is continuing to be a split push presence, so I think I go top here to deal with this. And yeah, it looks like I just went for this yes, because after I show top, Shyvana is going to be rejoining the team fight, so I know fairly quickly after showing top that I need to get back with the rest of my team. As you can see, he's going through the ward in the mini map, so I'm aware of this. I'm trying to catch up to him or somebody that I can damage. Anybody who gets close to me at this point in the game on nearly full items. Again, technically I only have 3 or 4 completed items, but I still technically would think QSS on its own deserves a slot. The fact that it upgrades for like another 2,000 gold or 3,000 gold, whatever it is, that's kind of a moot point. But yeah, the fact that Xerath is dying over and over again is starting to make it really hard. And Thresh is trying to get Xerath to not die as much so that I can carry. Yeah, and once again, I have almost as many kills as their entire team still right now, so I'm still about 1,100 gold off of Bloodthirster, so I'm kind of trying to farm up right now, but at the same time, I'm ready to team fight. I just want the extra levels as well, so now I've got rank 3 ultimate, which is pretty huge. It gives you the extra movement speed bonus, and you ever hear why late game Vayne is so good? Part of that is her ultimate. It gives like 75 attack damage. And the stealth movement speed obviously multiplies her passive. But yeah, so this team fight is looking a little bit sloppy on their part. They never quite had any 5v5. Shyvana just wanted to split push, presumably because I was so far ahead. They do get a good amount of damage onto me. It's not quite enough, but yeah, there's never really a point where we don't have control of this game as it goes, but because of the way my team's playing, you can see why this would be really hard. Like, let's say I played the early game a little bit differently and I didn't start snowballing. Let's say I made a couple of micro mistakes, then that changes every macro decision I make after that. So that's why macro is an extension of micro, and micro is an extension of macro. So there you go. I got enough for BT now. I think we just push this tower down because I've got items and I can micro the tower down, much in the same way that you would micro down the enemy. There's a lot you can do on towers to increase your DPS. It's just like a little bit of extra stutter stepping. Once you get past the threshold of 2 attacks per second, which would be like 2.0, like 2.5 per second. When you see the little number next to the sword for the attack speed, once it's 2.5, you can't get any more than that. But more specifically, once your attack frame is over 2 per second, you actually lose DPS to micro. So like, is it still worth it to micro? Obviously, yes, it is, because your positioning is more important than your attack speed. But um, it's less important. So that's why you see some bad AD carries neglecting to micro, and you'll see them, instead of completing an auto attack, what they'll do is it'll look like they're about to auto attack, but then the enemy will walk away, and then they'll start walking towards them instead, and then they miss their opportunity for an attack frame. So what you'll see me do on Vayne constantly is move in between attacks, and that's just basically how you account for that. Fairly easy kill on Shyvana. I could have QSS'd the Blade of the Rune King slow that he put on me. Wouldn't have made much of a difference. Actually, since he steals movement speed, I'm not even sure how that works. I think you can QSS this low. You should be able to. Don't quote me on that. There's some things that just aren't worth thinking about. Like, maybe if I was a pro level 80 carry, I would know that, but I'm not, so I don't really care. I'm actually pretty sure you can QSS this low, but okay. Annie, once again, he can 100 to 0 me pretty easy, but with the QSS, I'm able to keep myself a little bit safe. BT actually wasn't enough to save me there, so this is an example of when my team is starting to fail me. I'm getting a little bit upset. I said, where's Knock? I don't fucking get it. And basically, I'm expecting him to be in the bottom quadrant of the map, since that's where I'm at. And it has nothing to do with anything outside of that. It just simply means when your AD carry has, 18, 20 kills, stick with him. Make the game easy for him to carry. Like, he's doing you a favor, so just do your best to help him carry. And I had a problem with being too toxic in the past. Sometimes you just gotta know when to shut up, and I'm no different from that. So always looking to improve, whether it be gameplay or mentality. And yeah, I got almost full items here. The only thing left to upgrade is QSS. $35 minutes in now, so yeah, this is going to be a pretty long YouTube video. I'll try and condense the ending a little bit, although I don't really think I can actually. It would just require a lot of editing on my part, so I mean, I don't think anything major happens here for the next minute or two. Thresh being a little bit stupid. I believe he suicides here, but I'm just I'm dueling Shyvana here, so I guess technically this is major because we just won the team fight based off of that. Annie once again gets the stun on to me, but it's not enough because I got QSS. He's got enough focus going on to him to where I can just instantly pop him. I'm sort of confused now as to what we're gonna do. I don't remember any of this. I think we just get the inhibitor and maybe go for Baron. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're gonna do. Actually, we go for Dragon. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, and I have enough for my QSS upgrade. Getting towards the end of the game here. Okay, so I had a quick edit there. Couldn't get the video footage to upload properly on YouTube, so I'm gonna pick it back up right here. Looks like we just lost our support. This Nocturne's gonna go all ham anyway, so I got a lot of items. He knows he just needs to engage for me so that he's getting focused and I'm not getting focused. Two quick easy kills. I did blow everything for that, but yeah, he ends up picking up the graves, and this is actually going to be the end of the game here. But yeah, I didn't want to go this far and then not show the ending. So yeah, it's not very exciting. It is what it is. Look for me to be doing maybe an R video or two, some more Vayne videos. I know that there's a game that I played yesterday. I ended the game like 16-1 in like Plat 1 ELO, which I should be Diamond right now, but that's besides the point. Yeah, what ELO was this game in? This game was Platinum 2, like 860 LP, basically. Okay, so we ended 26-6. I don't think I looked at the damage graph here. I really should start doing that when I'm streaming. Just look at the damage graph, just for comparison. Because I'm interested in it now. I don't care when the game is over, but I'm interested now. So yeah, that's it. Next time I'll have a little bit better footage, maybe. Like, this was okay. Usually you're not going to get that fed though. I know for a fact that the 16-1 game, I started that game out 0-1 and everyone on my team was losing, so that would probably be an even better game to showcase. So yep, see you next time. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the video, if you have any suggestions for me on how to improve it. So thanks.